Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you all back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you guys so very much for being with me every day as you have been for the last 26 days. And we are going to be doing two cool tangles today. One of them is MIKA. It is by Sarah Harrison, and it is a ribbon tangle. And this is Planetean. It is a fill tangle, and that is by Sandra Strait, also known as Melosis. All right, let's get started. Before we put pen or pencil to paper, let's take some deep breaths together. And let me turn off my fan and put my glasses on. We're gonna be good. Oh, how's everybody doing today? Let's relax our shoulders and arms and hands and just get ready for about an hour of tangling together, all right? So I'm going to start with a squarish border today and adding a dot to each corner. Of course, when I say squarish, that's what I mean. Got that whole problem with the dots when I do the squared off. That is okay. No mistakes, right? Let's avoid so many opportunities today, though. All right. Now, we are going to be using from Tangle Patterns today, string number 62. And that is a simple division on the diagonal. Remember to get that going for you. And then we are going to come not quite halfway down, and we're going to make a curved C-stroke off to the side. All right? And then on the other side, we're going to go up a little bit further, and we're going to do another one, just like this, okay? Now, what I'm going to do today is start with MIKA, and I'm going to start that here, and perhaps I will put some offshoots of that going off to the sides. But let's do one down the diagonal middle here and see how that turns out, and then we'll make our decisions going out from there, okay? So I think what I want to do is I think I will let this go down the center of my ribbon. And so I'm going to draw my outer lines, and I'm going to go right across this string line. And then I'm going to double that or ara that. Right? I'm going to turn my tile upside down, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This doesn't need to be particularly wide. All right, so now in her step out, Sarah has this drawn with, well, let me see if I can demonstrate, okay? I am going to change up the way that I draw this because I found this to be a little bit awkward, but that's okay. So what she has is she has these two sort of little fish shapes that are in the middle, and they're sort of pointing at each other. And then she has these little tails that come out to each side on the end. Like this, right? Then she rounds off a little orb in the middle of these and inks the little tail portion. These look like eyes to me now, and I am trying to avoid the temptation to do something eyeball-y to them. I'll try to be good today. River says hi to little Petey, Amigo, Argo, ZZ, and the rest of the puppies that I keep remembering to mention, and don't forget the kitties. All right, then she adds an inner aura. And try to remember to take your time. As always, that reminder is meant for me, probably more than any of you guys. Okay, so this is the way that the step out has this. Okay, and now in this section over here, she draws in an orb, but we will get to that here in a minute. And then she inks around the orb. Like that, okay? And so now we need to repeat this going down. So what I decided to do for me that was a little bit easier, I think I can draw these oblongs, but I think I'm going to start with 2 orbs that touch each other. Then I'm going to put my little endings on them and ink. I'm going to remember to slow down and take my time. Then I'm going to take the ends of this down. And by starting with the orbs, for me, I get a more consistent result. Of course, I'm not done yet, so let's finish up and see what happens. Then we want to make that careful aura. Yeah. And then over here, it's simple now to draw in an orb and ink around. Like so. Let's do some more. This is a pretty little elegant ribbon pattern. It's not too difficult to draw. It's got drama with the ink, but not too much. It's really pretty and symmetrical, but it doesn't have to be perfect to work. So for me, this kind of has it all. All right, I think I've got one more to do here, so let's do this. Okay, so we'll just have a partial one here. And of course you don't have to unless you don't, if you don't want to ink all these little interstices, you don't have to. Remember, the interstices are all the little holes that are left by the pattern. All those little spaces. I got 3 packages from you guys yesterday, plus one of you sent me a lovely gift card to Amazon. Thank you guys so much. I got some Renaissance tiles from someone, and I don't know who for sure. I have a general idea, but I don't know who for sure. And like I told you guys yesterday, I got a little cute sketch pad and a box of 01s, which always appreciated. And then a pack of Renaissance tiles. And what else came yesterday? Oh, then I had the gift card. So, yay. Thank you guys for keeping me all set for this. Then I finished some of my breakfast drink today, and I've got some box bags now that I can use as well. We are good to go. All right. So the last step on this, Sarah has this alternated. I think Linda in her example art for this pattern has it everywhere. I like it everywhere. Let me see what I did on my example. Okay. So in Sarah's step out, she has got this alternated, but Linda Farmer did it on all of them, and I kind of liked the all over lines thing, so that's what I'm going to do. But of course, you may use them, not use them, leave them out, whatever you want to do. This is your art. You get to decide. And I may sparkle a few, but probably not too many. But I am going to take my time, try to get my widths consistent, or at least as consistent as is possible for me. If I make a mess or get too narrow or too wide, I am going to take a deep breath and go after it again and not worry. You guys have seen over and over how all of those mistakes that I make seem to disappear in the final product. So don't prejudge what is going on, no matter how ugly you think it looks, or how bad or unfixable you feel it is. If you need to start a new tile, I totally get that, but don't throw the last one away. You don't know that in a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, 2 years down the road, you might pick that back up and go, ooh, I know exactly what I want to do here. I've probably got hundreds of unfinished tiles laying around. That's not something I'm proud of, but I tend to, I'm like everybody, I can lose interest, or if I feel like it's not working for me, I will put it aside and come back. Sometimes I don't get back. That doesn't mean I never will, though. And if you run out of supplies and you don't have anything to draw on, always get those out and add tangles, or do whatever. Stick a Bronx cheer all over whatever your problem was and keep going. If you've got a string drawn on there and you don't have it filled in, fill it in, see what happens. I definitely need to slow down. Remember, if you get your things too wide, you can always stick some in there in the holes. I try not to do that because I tend to make a mess, but it can be done, and I do it. This is a little narrow for sparkling, but I might stick one or two in here just to make it a little more interesting. Don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time. You need to hold your pen for a second and breathe. Do that. And remember taking a breath. Hold. Make your pen stroke, and then release. Well, that is pretty. I like the way that turned out. And I'm using a gray tile, if I didn't mention that earlier. And so I think we're going to have some fun highlighting and shading opportunities in here. So now I think I want to make 2 more of these that will be very short. And I think I will put this down here. That didn't exactly match, did it? But it's going to be okay. Now it does. Okay, so I'm going to make my orbs a little bit bigger on this one and see what happens. Don't you just want to put little pupils so that it looks at each other? So it'll be cross-eyed. I really want to make it cross-eyed. I really, really do. I'm not promising that won't show up. And why? Because I can. It's my art and I can. Well, that got a little crazy. It's all right. It's all right. Well, I don't think I was supposed to. Yeah, I was. I was supposed to do that. Good job, Cindy. Good job. Except that probably is not supposed to be there, but that's okay too. River. Baby. No bueno what the barking is. No bueno. No es bueno. Okay. And I think this one I'm going to leave without the hatch marks. These are the hatch marks, by the way. And then I'll put another one way up here. And this will just be partial. Let's do Take your time with your inking. Make sure you don't have any stars in your little black sky. Although stars are lovely, aren't they? Not in my ink, though. All right. Let's... Okay. So... I think I'll wait on my hatch marks on this one too. And let's do Planetean, which you guys, I think, are going to really enjoy. Let's see how it goes, okay? So Planetean is a fill pattern, and it works off of a sort of a ziggy-zaggy thing. And it's very simple, although there is a bit of a learning curve. So you might want to practice both of these in your sketch pads if you want. So I think I will start over here in this section, and we can turn this whatever direction we want. We can go up and down, we can go sideways, and I'm trying to decide what angle I think on this would work the best for what we're doing. I mean, do I want to sort of follow this initial ribbon, which would work? Let's do that in this section and then see. Actually, I think I want to turn it at odd angles with this. Let's do it straight down, which will be at odd angles with everything else, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to make these like this. All right. And next to that, you can have it as wide or as close as you want, just probably not too wide. You want to do these in the same direction, okay? Don't flip them out the other direction. Do them in the same direction. Okay? They don't have to look alike. You can have them whatever way you want. And it's going to be easy to do. Just get in there and go. So the key to this is making your zigs the same direction everywhere. See? Now, in the step out, what Sandra does is she puts a little partial pie piece or circle right here and blacks it in. Yeah? And then she comes from this point and draws a slightly curved line, and then you have to sort of fix that. Now, for me, there is an easier way, and let me show you what I'm going to do. At each point where these zig, I'm going to put my partial curve there, okay? Then I'm going to draw up here and make this like this. It's not going to be so pronounced as this, and if I want to, I can still extend that. But for me, this is an easier process than the other way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through here and make my curved lines. I'm going to try to keep their curves fairly consistent, but if they're a little bit off, it's not a big deal. I probably shouldn't have made those so close to each other, but I think that'll be fine. So everywhere where there's a zig, you want to put that slightly curved line. Okay, now I'm going to go through and just draw these up and ink them in. Some will be bigger, some will be smaller. Don't sweat it. The illusion of this is going to work either way. These remind me of the roof tiles that they have in South America and some places in Europe where they're the clay tile roofs. I think they're so lovely and functional. Now I'm just going to go back here and look at each of these and make sure they have the shape that I kind of want them to have. And this is where you can do some you know, playing around, fudging. I think I'm going to put some faux ones over here where we don't see the edge. Like that. All right. And I think that's good. So shading does a lot with this, and you can see the difference between drawing it this way and drawing it this way. I feel for me it's a little bit more effective with less ink, but it definitely works either way. So at this point I can continue to do these all in this direction. I can change the direction up in each section, and or you know, I can leave some of these blank. Let's think. I think over here I want to turn this upside down and go the other direction, and that's okay. I can do that. So I think I'll start right on this line over here. Okay. And we'll leave that. So and as you draw these, try to keep in mind that you don't want these in the same spot, because that makes that overlapping thing a little bit more difficult or challenging. But, you know, you got this. I have faith in you guys. And you can see mine are definitely not perfect. That's okay. I'm not going to sweat it. No worrying, no anxiety. We're not looking for perfection, so we're not going to be disappointed, right? All right, now let's connect these. Take your time, do a nice, neat job. Cindy, take your time, honey. Do a nice job. All right. The more straight you get these zigs, the easier that drawing that line is, I think. But quite frankly, it doesn't matter. At least not for me. And I think I'll put some partials like that. Okay? All right. I'm going to ink in all of these. Two very simple tangles, and I think we're going to get a lovely result. At least that's what I'm always hoping for. And I managed to surprise myself most days. So, and apparently some of you have been surprised too. So that's a good thing. Hopefully pleasantly surprised. Cindy. Well, I'm going to leave that for fear of making it worse. Sometimes fixing them makes them worse than the mistake itself, so you got to learn to let some things go. At least I need to learn that. And if any of y'all are anything like me, and I suspect you are, you got to let that go too, kids. All my kids, whether you're young, old, in the grave, you got 4 legs, 2 paws, 6 feet, and a tail to wag, then you're my peeps. And even if you're without a tail, we're still going to love you anyway. If I can get done in time today, I'm going to load up one of Annie's lessons. She has got about 4 out there right now that I really want to watch. One is about inking, pen strokes, hatching, and shading with ink, basically. And I definitely want to watch that one. Because the more work you can do with your pen, the less work you do with your pencil. And she is the queen of this stuff, so it's going to be a good one. Fun. Now, the question, do I want to do something here or leave it blank? And the answer is, I do not know. So I think for now, I'm going to leave that and do some shading, and then we'll come back and visit that, okay? So let's get out our pencils. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into with shading today. Now, when I shaded my example, I used a 2B pencil, a regular pencil, and I got a lot of graphite. But I have to say, I love the look that I got. It's really, really intense. But it's a fill pattern, and I want my ribbons to sit on top of that. So I think I'm going to start by giving a good dark shade right along, and I'll probably have to lift some graphite out, but right along the edge of this ribbon. And I guess I'll go ahead and do this. And then do the other side. See how sharp this pencil is? It's not sharp enough. It's time to punch that up a little bit. There. Now that's sharp. Yeah. And yes, my pencil sharpener that is on the Amazon store absolutely works for colored pencils. And surprisingly, they don't break. You've seen how sharp I get my pencils with that, and they don't break very often. I think I've had one Verithin that I had some trouble with breaking on. That has been the only one in the year plus since I've had it. So, and I've used it a lot. And it's rechargeable, so you don't have to have it plugged in. You can take it with you places. It's actually a pretty good deal. All right, so I've got a good thick shadow on all the sides of my ribbon. Now I want to blend that out before I get any further. And I'm going to have stray graphite, so I will be using my eraser to lift some of this out. But for now, I want to let it go to town, get it all nice and dark. And I can lift my stray graphite that's on the opposite side of the line up, and will. And I'll fix all this up here in just a minute. So if you have a lot of problems getting too much graphite, you might want to think seriously about changing to an F pencil. It does make things a bit better, and the graphite is easier to control that way. At least I find that it is for me. Okay, so I'm going to clean up just a little bit before I get any further down the road. I need my mono zero for this business. It wasn't on the bed, so it must be on the floor somewhere. We will find it. One thing at a time. Got another test tomorrow on my heart. We'll see how it goes. So you guys say some prayers. Send out positive thoughts for me. Hopefully everything will be fine. And if not, hopefully there is a good fix for whatever is going on. And if there's not, then we will deal with that too. All right, so I want to lift a little bit of this up and maybe not have that quite so deep. Maybe a little bit of this. And I'll blend this back. And I'll tidy up my edges too. All right, now, okay, now for, I got my shadow erased a little bit here, but that's okay. All right, so now for Planetean, you're going to shade right on the side where your shadow, where your little blacked in space is, okay? And all the way down. Okay, just on that one side, river, Okay, just like this. And again, if we get too much, we can always fix that. This one is uncomplicated, which makes it a favorite for me. And I love that. My favorite thing with patterns is when you can shade them and they turn into 3D. That just is my favorite thing. And so this is definitely one of those, which is what immediately attracted me to it. I actually found that Linda now has the Tangle archives by month on her thing, and that's exactly what I was needing, because back when I took my several months long break last year, then I missed a bunch of stuff, and I wanted to go back and instead of trolling the letters like I usually do, it was easier to find the ones that I had not seen yet. So I really appreciated that. Okay, I think I got all of that. Now I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to go underneath each one of these little rounded spots. And you do not have to do this if you don't want to, but it is just going to pop all of this up and make it 3D. And so I don't want you to miss out on that cool opportunity for yours. But if you don't care, then don't worry about it. Remember, your art, you decide. It's not wrong if you decide not to put something in that I do. It's not wrong if you add something that I don't. It's just different, and it's yours. And I love those of you that say you watch anyway and just tangle along with me, but do your own thing. I think that's great. Some of you are experienced enough and good enough and have enough creative ideas on your own that you don't need my help. But it is nice to know that you are hanging out with me. Okay, I need my smaller tortillon to blend this out, so give me a second. Let me locate that. Remember, I'm using the side of this, not the tip. And of course I will come back through here once we're done today and go over these lines again, erase more, buff up more, intensify the color along the lines, that kind of thing. Make sure I haven't left any little white slivers along the lines where I'm shading, that kind of thing. And you guys would be surprised what another shading run would do for you. So look at the difference between this and this. Huge difference, right? Huge. All right, let's shade this. I really love this Planetean one. I'm going to have to be doing this more. It's a very effective fill for a large area. And without needing a lot of attention, it is really cool. All right, now I'm going to do my underneath ones. Okay, let's blend this. Actually, I want to do these first, I think. I missed a couple of spots here. Thanks for smacking, Simba. I swear he waits until the camera turns on to eat every day. Love you, Sim. Bon appetit. Mon cher, yes. I'm working on my French. It's just not very good. Bon chance, right? The guy I was looking for yesterday with the Märchen is Hans Christian Andersen. I knew I had it almost. It just didn't sound right. And weren't they brothers or something? Oh, well, those were the brothers Grimm. I don't know. Grimm's Märchens were grim. Märchen is the German word for fairy tale. Now I'm just going to go through and look for any extra graphite that I don't have blended out or that got too much. And this will be that whole layering, shading thing with erasing and blending and all of that. I do have one more thing that is going to be fun, but we're not quite finished with this. So I'm fairly pleased with where I'm at with this for now. Okay, so now back to my ribbon things. I want to do a couple of things to them to make them look more dynamic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil right up here underneath this R line, and I'm going to shade that. While we listen to Simba chew. He should be done in a minute. Thank you, Simba. We appreciate you joining us today for lunch. Okay, so let me blend that out underneath here. I'm trying to decide whether that's something I'm going to want on both sides or just on the underneath side. Simba, you're harshing my vibe here, buddy. I do like the way that pops things up. Definitely gives that a little bit of a 3D punch. Let me try a little bit here. See what that looks like on both sides. Not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to lift out that string line down the middle so it doesn't get in the middle of my orbing. So I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking I like this, what we've done, getting in here and making this more interesting. I'm going to make these orbs look popped up. And I'm also thinking about redrawing my outer ribbon lines with my PN to make those a little bolder. And I will probably do that on these as well. And then I'm going to, since I didn't hatch mark this, I'm still going to shade this along this edge like I did on the ones with the hatch lines. And I intentionally left them off of this, by the way. just as another version of it. Okay, so let me quickly add the shading here. Okay. I'm going to have a lot of graphite to clean up when I'm done, but that's all right. It's all right. You could go out and jump on the trampoline for a little bit. Definitely going to need more shading on this. All right, let's do these. You guys have gotten a lot of orb experience in the last 25 days. And that's good. You will never look at orbs again the same, will you?
Hey guys, here's Mari. Just wanted to say something.
What do you want to say, baby?
If this video hits 10 likes, we will make a new channel.
Oh my God, no we won't. No we won't. I am not making any more channels. I can barely keep up with this one.
Alright. We will make...
How about if we hit 100 likes on this video, you draw with me next video.
Or if we hit 100 likes, a live stream and I'll draw with you.
Oh, that would be awesome. We'll have to get somebody to do comments though. We need a moderator.
Oh, I'll moderate.
You'll moderate and draw?
What?
You're going to moderate and draw?
Yeah.
That's not so easy.
I'll have the monitor in one hand and my pencil in the other.
You might be able to do that. I won't be able to do it, but you might.
Because all I have to do is literally look
You young people and your texting.
All I have to do is literally look at the thing.
All right. I'm just looking for some finishing touches here and there and everywhere. And I will be doing a lot of lifting. However, I mean erasing, of course. However, before we get that far, let's have some fun. It has also occurred to me that once I have cleaned up a little bit, that I could come through with my jelly roll and leave a highlight on these, or, of course, my white charcoal pencil, which I intend to do anyway. But also, I could do my lines, my aura lines here in white jelly roll, and that might be really effective if I can do a neat job, which is always the question. So I have to think about that and decide whether it's worth the risk or not. But if I do that, it probably won't be on camera, so don't fret. And you, of course, can do as you like. Isn't that wonderful? I also have gray jelly rolls that I could use a darker gray or a lighter gray or something like that. That might be interesting. All right. Pop those up just a little bit. So what did you guys think of your results from yesterday with the Huggy Bear pattern? I was pretty enamored with mine. Of course, I did it on gray, so that made it even better with the highlighting. I am sure, without a doubt, that if you did that on a box top or a box back, that it's going to turn out great. Pretty excited about sourcing some more box backs to draw on. Pretty excited about those Renaissance tiles too. All right, look at that. All right, we're starting to get there. Now, where's my white charcoal? Let's see what we do with this. I'm going to start with the orbs and just do pretty much what we did yesterday, which is just breathe a little bit of life into one edge of these. I'm going to try to keep the highlight off to the side today instead of putting it in the middle like I did yesterday. But it really doesn't matter. You can put it wherever you would like. See, that really does a lot for it. The other thing I could do, if I don't want to use jelly roll, is I could also stroke white charcoal, if I get the graphite lifted up first, of course, along here and lighten that. The problem with that is, though, that if you don't have a nice sharp point and you get into your black, then you have to ink over those white spots that I just made. So just, you know, food for thought. Okay, I got all of those. So I'm wondering about stroking a little bit in here and there, just to brighten this up just a little bit. Oh, I like that. I do. And I can add some here as well, where I've got my little sparkles here and there. And that brightens that whole thing right up and makes it more interesting than the background, just like that. Well, I'm not done with the background, so we're going to see which one wins. I think I'll be fine with it either way. Very nice. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is take this white charcoal and just put a little bit of a highlight right here on each one of these. Yeah, that will just take the shading to the next level. This doesn't have to be perfect. You just need a little hint. Okay, we have just, whoops, I forgot a row, didn't I? We have just taken that from very cool to wow. At least I think so. You guys may have a different opinion, and you're certainly entitled to that. I think this works really well. See if I can smooth this out without cleaning my tortillon. Do I really want to do that? Probably not. We'll work on that later, smoothing all of that out. But you can see huge difference, right? Huge difference. So let's try this the other way. It really enhances the rounded look. Again, this is my opinion. I have not been to highlight school, so, you know, you can have a different opinion, and yours is probably better than mine. But this works for me, and if you want to do it this way, you're going to have a cool tile when you're done. That's just my opinion. At least you better. I love bringing flat to 3D. It's one of my very favorite parts of tangling. And that is done absolutely with shading and highlighting, which is a different kind of shading, I suppose. I'll have to clean my tortillon to really get that going good. Blended well. And I may come back through here. One of you asked me what makes me decide to use a black colored pencil to shade with. Now, part of that is because there's less shine from the light, but normally when I pull out a black pencil, it's because I feel like my graphite is not giving me enough color or enough depth, and so that it needs something darker. And so in those instances, I will use a black colored pencil for some of this, and that's something that I'm actually considering here to really pop this section up. This is a very busy background, which is fine. I like it. But I also don't want to lose these ribbons here, so I may put some black colored pencil along here to just sort of deepen that overlap a little bit. But before I do that, I will probably come through there with my black PN and darken these outer lines for the ribbons, and that's going to help that look. All right, guys, except for putting on my chop somewhere, which will probably end up in this little corner up here, I think this is where I'm going to stop today. I hope you guys have enjoyed these two patterns and the possibilities that go along with them. I think it's fun. This definitely has no top or bottom. So enjoy this. I hope it's been fun. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for day 27. Amazingly, we have gotten through almost our first month. And we're on a roll now. So look for me tomorrow. I'm going to see you then. And in the meantime, I am sending much love, hugs, and kisses from Oklahoma. I love all of you very much. Please be safe. And I'll see you tomorrow.